We do something on this show called For Fact's Sake. We take a claim and we fact check it so you don't have to. It's like Velshi Mythbusters, but without urban legends, explosions, and basic science. But in order to do that, I would require at least some facts to be actually factual. And this next tale can only be described as a fairy tale. The amazing, fantabulous life of George Santos, a congressman, a college volleyball champion, a Goldman Sachs alum, allegedly. What little we know about him includes his name, or does it? The freshman congressman is a serial fabulist who has lied about his religion, his ethnicity, his work history, his education, and even his athletic talent. 2 years before his successful run for Congress, Republican officials on Long Island sent the political novice a standard vetting questionnaire to look over his qualifications. The resume that Santos handed over was impressive, almost too impressive. The New York Times obtained a copy of that resume. I've got it right here. It's 2 pages long, and we've highlighted all of the untruths and fabrications that we know of so far. As you could say, it's a glowing resume, just as Mr. Santos intended. Starting with his education, he claimed to have graduated summa cum laude with a 3.89 GPA from Baruch College in 2010. In 2013, the document claims that he earned an MBA from New York University. I'm going to try my best Maury Povich impression here. Very basic fact-checking has determined that was a lie. Officials at both schools told our affiliate there is no record of Santos ever attending. Moving on to his job history, Mr. Santos claimed to work for Citigroup and that he more than doubled revenue as a project manager at Goldman Sachs. But don't bank on that. Very basic fact-checking has determined that he was also lying about that. Representatives from both companies told our NBC affiliate that there's no record of Santos ever having worked at either Citibank or Goldman Sachs. Now, according to the New York Times, a small group of well-connected Republican campaign officials knew that most of George Santos's life and resume was a lie well before the public did, but Santos insisted on running anyway, and he won. And now the list of lies have just gotten longer. It's becoming almost impossible to keep up with the tangled web of lies that Mr. Santos has spun. Remember that degree from Baruch College he never attended? Nassau County Republican officials told the New York Times he told them that he was a star volleyball player, leading Baruch's team to a championship. In fact, he said specifically that he was a striker because every detail actually counts. He claimed that he was a, quote, proud American Jew, but recently tried to rectify that by claiming he never claimed to be Jewish. Rather, he meant he was Jew-ish, whatever that means. There's no evidence that his family is any kind of Jewish or Jewish. This one is truly bizarre. His mother apparently died twice. Last July, he tweeted that, quote, 9/11 claimed my mother's life. But 5 months later, he tweeted again saying his mother had died in 2016. And then there's the question of his finances. According to the New York Times, he loaned his campaign $700,000 of his own money, but reported making only $55,000 a year back in 2020. Yet 2 years later, poof, his company, the DeVolder Organization, is suddenly worth more than $1 million. Maybe it's those revenue building skills he learned from Goldman Sachs where he didn't work. Or maybe he owns a magic oil lamp with a genie inside. We've said it on this show before. George Santos thinks he can pull off a catch-me-if-you-can style scheme, but he's not as smart as the character played by Leonardo DiCaprio. When Mr. Santos's house of lies began to cave in, he said he made some mistakes. He admitted to, in his words, embellishing his resume and apologized for doing so. But he's not backing down. Despite calls from Democrats and Republicans to resign and several investigations into his fraudulent statements, Mr. Santos says, quote, I was elected by 142,000 people. Until those same 142,000 people tell me they don't want me, we'll find out in 2 years. Oh, do you mean these people, Mr. Santos?
I want this man out. I want him out. He had the nerve to say that in 2 years you can vote me out. I don't answer to politicians. I answer to my constituents. Well, I'm one, and I want him out.
It's pretty devastating that, we as a community have voted this man in without checking his credentials.
He said he's not resigning.
I think that's really disappointing. I think the people of Long Island deserve better.
I think he should step down. I think it's just too much. Nobody's going to want to work with them. It's just too much bad blood now.
He can go out. I don't consider him fit to shine my shoes.
Not a volleyball champion, And he doesn't appear to be a champion of the people either. The voters did not elect you, Mr. Santos. They elected a version of you invented by your imagination. Sadly, George Santos represents so much that is wrong today: lies, denial, and the death of shame.